a change in goal with Ilgner for Köpke.
At the top, Köpke was considered a bit suspect on some long-range shots against Argentina just a couple days ago. And Matthäus, more or less a new spot for him, although he's done quite well with Bayern Munich as the sweeper. The most damage probably will come out of Germany's midfield, Hessler and Möller.
Now for the U.S. squad, they'll also have a change in goal. Last time they played, Meola had his turn. This time it's Brad Friedle's chance against Germany.
Friedle will have the chance. He'll have Armstrong, who's back now as the sweeper for the U.S. team, which pushes Dooley up into the midfield. The best chance for the United States is the speed of number 10, Ernie Stewart, and number 13, Kobe Jones.
Stay with us. We'll come back. We'll have the kickoff next between Germany and the United States from Stanford Stadium in Palo Alto, California.
And now here's our starting lineup for the United States national team.
Side, this is Stefan Effenberg for Germany to Hessler. Play to the back, Kohler, who plays for Juventus, teamed at the back with Julio Cesar. I think the first 10 minutes tag going to be very interesting. It should be an angry German team. That loss against Argentina was their first loss of '93.
As we see Matthäus immediately push forward into the midfield, adding even more problems for the United States. And you will see Germany press forward in the attack. They are not have a very good taste in their mouth after the loss to Argentina.
Right side, Kohler. Hessler, who's exceptional on the free kicks. He plays for Roma. Back to the back again, it's Effenberg.
This is a typical German start, looking to establish total domination in terms of possession. The United States now very happy just to drop back and make sure that they have all the marking assignments taken care of in their own half of the field.
That time Lalas had Klinsmann. That could be a physical matchup. Blocked on that far side. Ernie Stewart wearing number 10. The white uniforms for the U.S. and there's an offside on Germany. We watched that game the other night, Ty. The Germans actually trained when the match was over.
That's true. They were not happy with the result. We were looking there at Andy Möller, one of the top scorers currently in the Italian First Division, also playing for Juventus. He's one of the best attacking midfielders in the world.
Armstrong will give it up on the left side. Dooley now to Agus, number 12 in white for the U.S. Agus and Dooley both bothered by hamstring problems. They did not play against Kongsvinger, the club team from Norway, last week. Of course, it was a rainy, muddy field, and that was probably another reason to keep them off. Balboa didn't play in that one either, coming back from ACL surgery in less than 8 months. Kohler, number 4 for the Germans. Effenberg on the right side. High pressure by the U.S. That was Joe Max Moore. Scoreless in the opening minutes of play from Palo Alto. Stanford Stadium, one of 9 World Cup venues. There'll be 6 matches played here.
You can see the respect that the USA is giving this German team. Of course, defending World Cup champions, always a powerhouse.
Far side, Müller's pass will find an open man on the wing for Germany. Up for Klinsmann. Try to knock it back, broken up by Kobe Jones. Kobe Jones has played in more games than anyone else on the U.S. squad. He's one of their success stories this past season. He's come a long way. Tied with Henderson for the lead in assists on this club. Loose ball gathered in, Alexi Lalas. Trying to do the give and go, and Kobe Jones was taken down. Foul on Germany.
We see Hugo Perez dropping deep into the midfield to give support there, leaving, of course, Ernie Stewart for the United States as the lone forward, unless you want to consider Jones or Moore out on the flanks.
Last time we saw Stewart was the game against Mexico. He was the best player on the field, we thought, for the United States. And he and Jones worked together. Their speed could be a plus against the Germans. Right side, Hessler. Kuntz playing it back. Matthäus with a quick touch for Klinsmann. Intercepted. Kobe Jones. Can he put it into the open space? Klinsmann took him down. And the referee is coming over for a word very quickly with Jürgen Klinsmann.
Obviously, Germany aware of the speed of Kobe Jones, wanting to cut his run very short. Klinsmann, of course, a striker coming back to do the dirty work there on Kobe Jones.
Rune Pedersen is your game referee. He's from Norway. The linesmen are Errol Hogstad and John Hilditch. Harkes is from Norway, Hildridge from England. The fourth official, Philip Dunn of England. He refereed the Champions Challenge Wednesday, Germany and Argentina. Sorber sending it inside. The flick by Dooley. Cleared at the back by Germany all the way towards the midfield line. Harkes putting it down. Kuntz giving it up. Hessler. Germany trying to come up quickly on the right wing. Hessler in a battle with Harkes. And Harkes goes down. Oh, it's getting very physical out there. And then Kuntz at Harkes, and he kicked the ball at him. Bring out the cards. That's an automatic, or should have been if the referee saw it.
Now, he'll talk to him at least.
It wasn't a forceful kick, but the unsportsmanlike intent was sure there against Jeff Harkes, number 12, who played collegiately at the University of Virginia. He and Kuntz make up.
Kuntz playing for Kaiserslautern in the Bundesliga. 14 goals on the year. He's a guy worth watching offensively.
Well, he's not Riedle, but it's great when you can replace a player like Riedle with a guy who's leading the Bundesliga in goals scored.
Riedle was injured November 17th when Germany beat Brazil at Cologne 2-1. Riedle with a shoulder injury, not due back till January.
Far side, Dooley was taken down. Play continues. That was Buchwald on that tackle. Kobe Jones lost it at the end. Cleared away by Iltz, who's a new starter.
A tough way to go for Kobe Jones up against 3 German defenders. He should have looked for some help there.
Still scoreless here. We've got about 5+ minutes in this opening half from Palo Alto. Hessler on the right flank. Try to turn it inside on Harkes. Got some help from Joe Max Moore, and it's going to be blocked out by Germany. Going to be a goal kick coming up for Brad Friedel. There's Jeff Harkes, whose college team, the University of Virginia, just won their 3rd straight NCAA Division I title.
Harkes is taking a hard-nosed approach to marking Hessler down that German right side, and he'll have to. Hessler, one of the better dribblers in his ability to cut the ball and change directions. So Harkes trying to inspire his teammate, because that's what it'll take to stop some of the German attacks.
Ernie Stewart, number 10 in white for the U.S. Nice cut to the inside. Right-footed shot. Saved under a beauty.
Ilgner with the save, and it's the best chance of the match. Ernie Stewart splitting 2 German defenders here. He cuts inside of Kohler and Effenberg, and it takes the bomb with the right foot, and it's going. And Ilgner, looking into the sunlight, in fact, did well. That's why he didn't try and catch it. He just tried to blast it away with both fists.
That was our super slow-mo version. Here's Perez in the corner. Cleared out by Germany. Picked up on that flank. Klinsmann. The more you see Ernie Stewart in a U.S. uniform, the more you like him. He scored once against Germany back on June 13th in Chicago.
This is some good stuff here at midfield for the United States. If they can establish more type of possession there, it's going to help them.
Perez, too fancy.
The combinations, if you can do that to Germany, it takes the pressure off your defense. If they have the ball the entire time, eventually they will break you down.
Harkes with a good job defensively, marking Hessler. That's going to be one of the key matchups today.
Here's the best chance of the game. Stewart cutting inside, some good acceleration, and then he really gets a heavy shot off, and Ilgner has to dive to his left to parry it away.
Kohler came in with a tough challenge as Stewart went to shoot. Lalas chasing this one. Got a piece of it. Kobe Jones paid the price. You can tell. You knew that Germany was going to be mad, but they've been even more overly physical here in the first several minutes. Last time we saw Kobe Jones, he got 2 players red-carded against El Salvador. He draws a lot of fouls.
A very professional approach in their fouls. They will step in early, get the foul done in the other team's half of the field. Now they can set up, get their marking assignments, and get organized defensively. So it's very deliberate that if they're going to foul, they do it early in the play so that they can all get back.
Desmond Armstrong giving it up to Lapper. Lapper leads this team in minutes played. Harkes looking long. He wanted Dooley. He almost got it. Iltz puts it back dangerously into the middle. Perez almost stole it. Buchwald sending it far side. Kohler going in to help out. It went instead to Möller. Now back to Kohler. Matthäus long. Hessler settles. Hessler versus Harkes. What a cross to the far side, and the header is too high. What a cross from Hessler. Great stuff by Germany. All the way for the leading scorer in the Bundesliga, Kunz.
And the pinpoint accuracy of the cross by Hessler, you'll see here, he's got good pressure on him. In fact, Dooley had come over to help, but this ball bends all the way to the back post, and there is Kunz trying to get the header on target.
From the corner, high into the air went Klinsmann, and a nice job defensively by the U.S. as this goes out of play.
Here's the play that resulted in the corner kick. Hessler just barely getting that in-swinging cross in all the way to the back post. Nearly beat is Lalas by Kunz, but it went out for a corner kick.
We come back to the live action. Long throw upfield for Kobe Jones. Now for Lapper, UCLA teammates. Mike Sorber from St. Louis University. This one goes out. Throw in Germany. We've gone just about 10 minutes here. First half of play. Germany nothing, the U.S. nothing with Ty Keogh. I'm John Paul Delacamera. Just one day before the World Cup draw in Las Vegas. Here's Stefan Effenberg. Faked out Joe Max Moore to the inside. And he ran well into space. Effenberg cut off, though. Nice job by Desmond Armstrong, who didn't play in the last game. He was attending a very important meeting in Chicago involving the Pro League. It broke a streak for Desmond. 12 straight internationals, every minute played. There's one flick by Germany. Settled by Möller. Plays it across. A chance, the shot saved. Riedle. Rebound. And it just missed. But a great chance again for Germany, and Brad Friedel equalized the Ildner save several minutes ago.
Exactly. We've seen outstanding saves now at each end. In fact, Riedle did very well also with a corner kick that he tipped past the far post when Klinsmann was going for it. But here's the chance, and what a play by Möller as he knows that Brema is open on the far side. Brema all by himself. You cannot allow this against a team like Germany, and Brema is one of the best left foots in the game. He happens to put it nearly directly at Friedel, but Friedel took up a good position. Here it is from another angle, and you don't want to be staring this down. Brema, what a great player, scored the winning goal, in fact, in the last World Cup final to give Germany the championship, and he's point blank there with Brad Friedel. Friedel comes up with it.
Germany moving it up the left wing side. Brema was looking for Buchwald, tackled out. Lalas. That tackle as well. It was a foul, then not a throw-in. Germany off the kick, far wing side. Too hard on the touch. And running out of room that time was Möller. There's Lalas, who's had a great year. He's the only player in the U.S. squad among the top 5 in 5 different offensive categories.
And there's Andy Möller again from Juventus in the Italian First Division. Scoring goals there from an attacking midfield position, causing problems today for the United States. If the United States can keep him under control and they can keep Hessler under control, then they have to worry less about Klinsmann and about Schulz, because that's where the serves are going to come from. They're going to come from Möller and from Hessler.
Sorber gave it up. Lapper looking for Agus. Lapper tackled away. Klinsmann looking. Back for Jeff Agus. Chased by Klinsmann. Sorber. Thomas Dooley. Right back to Joe Max Moore. Another UCLA grad. Joe Max Moore is their leading scorer this year in full internationals with 8. Dominic Kinnear next with 7.
And a dream game for Thomas Dooley, playing against the country he grew up in. He scored 2 goals against Germany at the U.S. Cup. And these two teams played last.
Germany advancing in U.S. territory. Still scoreless here, and Friedel calls off Desmond Armstrong to pick it up. Last 5 games played for Brad Friedel, he's only allowed 4 goals. Agus back for Friedel. Lost it there, and wisely just put it out. Can't fool around there when you're that far out of goal. Klinsmann, well done onside apparently to Möller, and as he tried to cross it, it was blocked. It goes out of play. Good recovery. Mike Sorber helping out of the defensive end. Good job. Laura Milutinovic, head coach of the United States, began his international career with Mexico as a coach in '83. Short corner to Möller. Across, Friedel got a piece, I thought, and then it went wide.
Sorber may have saved a goal there. That ball was bouncing loose in the United States 6-yard box. So the pressure mounting here for Germany with the near giveaway by Riedle on the back pass. And then the quick throw. We have a look here. Möller's serve then inside, and Riedle going for it full stretch. Just barely tips it. Lalas goes. Now this ball is dropped into a very dangerous area, and it's Sorber who is able to finally clear it, but it's barely slapped, not far enough away by Riedle initially.
Germany out shooting the U.S. 2-1, saves 1 apiece, fouls Germany doubling the U.S. 4-2. Played long. Lapper got ahead on that. 2 players after that. Now picked up. Germany's Hessler losing it. Lapper off a touch. Eels back for Hessler. Möller, number 7.
He's been the engine.
On the left wing side, Ramos putting it back. Germany in the green and white uniforms. Effenberg looking over the shoulder. Hessler, and it's headed down.
So nice, the little touch by Effenberg into the space. Nearly put Hessler through.
Lapper with a nice job that time on the defensive end. Here's Thomas Dooley. Cleared back by Eels. Chested down. Klinsmann was onside. Now to Kunz against Lalas. Stefan Kunz on the cross. Near side. Effenberg was up there.
Notice the quality on the German crosses. That one by Kunz. They all are driven. There's not a lot of airtime there for Riedle to work with. They're all swerving away from Riedle too. Look at the bend on this. It gets around the defender there, and it goes away from Riedle. It's to the back post. It does connect, but it's deflected away. But such quality on the crosses.
Off the corner and a score for Germany. Off the Hessler corner kick, Germany takes a 1-0 lead. I thought it was Möller down low. We'll see. Kunz was also in there, but we'll wait on the official call. Germany takes a 1-0 lead.
We talked about pinpoint accuracy, particularly with Hessler serves. This time it's from a dead ball on the corner. And again, it's a driven cross. As we look here on the super slow-mo, it's very low. Riedle's got no chance for it. Coming through in from behind is Möller. He's the goal scorer. Stefan Kunz made the initial run, but it was Möller in behind, similar to the goal that Möller scored against Argentina Wednesday. We look at it in the super slow motion. As you look at Möller getting the head on the ball and putting it into the goal. Number 7, Andreas Möller, puts Germany up 1-0.
It's his 11th international goal, and for Möller, he has now scored 4 goals in his last 4 games. 2 of them have been game-tying goals, 1 a game winner. We're not sure what this one is going to be just yet, but it is the first goal of the match. This is what happened to the U.S. They trailed 1-0 in Chicago, and then 4-1 after 59 minutes. But the U.S. was going good. I like the way they were going in this first half. We talked about the first 10 to 15 minutes being critical, and aside from that goal, the U.S. has given Germany all that they could handle. U.S. getting it. Kobe Jones. Dooley heading it well to Perez. Desmond Armstrong. Good touches to get it up to midfield. Agus. Perez stripped. Good defensive job by Germany. Agus back to win it. And then it's cleared out by the German squad.
The United States had the first great chance. If you remember, Ernie Stewart forcing the save out of Ilgner. But now Andy Möller has put Germany up 1-0 off the Hessler corner kick. Möller in behind some of his other teammates, driving the ball down low through some traffic, not allowing Riedle to see it whatsoever. But what a great game Andy Möller has had aside from getting the go-ahead goal.
Germany will have a throw-in. Near side, Effenberg. Effenberg, like many of the German players, did not play well against Argentina. The last time we saw him and Germany was against England in the finale, and Effenberg did score a goal and look good in that game. Not so on Wednesday in Miami. Long ball to Hessler, who was not part of the U.S. Cup squad, playing for Roma at the time and still is.
As we're talking about the club teams, the professional club teams that the German players play for, you notice that quite a few of them are in Italy. There's Juventus. Hessler, you mentioned, with Roma. Kohler is with Juventus, as is Möller. We got Effenberg playing with Fiorentina. That's where the big money is currently. It draws even the top German players down to Italy for the big contracts.
Matthäus was playing in Italy. Now he's back settled in Germany.
As was Brema. all three of them, including Klinsmann, were at Inter Milan at one time.
All the way back, Armstrong. He and Lalas got together. Oh, the elbow got up on Möller. Everyone on that far side of the stadium saw it, judging by that reaction. Germany switching it now to the right side. Effenberg. Hessler sees the room. Nice turn, looking, and then it was too far. He reacted well, though, to that open space.
Armstrong covered it well, too, to read where the German attack would be coming. Came up with the ball. Was not able to keep possession, though, which gives more time, possession, and pressure for the Germans.
Gone about 20 minutes here unofficially in the first half. Germany leading it 1-0. The goal at 15 minutes, or in the 15-minute mark area, by Möller. The assist to Hessler right off the corner kick. Germany controlling it again at the back. Lothar Matthäus, all-time German leader in caps. Lalas having to look over the shoulder into the sun. Pass intended for Brema.
Brema going for the ball there. He is the left back. At that time, he got very forward on his run and tried to get the long ball from Matthäus.
Depending on who's in there, so far we've seen Lalas matched up with Klinsmann, Brema, and also Kuntz. Here come the Germans. Here's Kuntz. Left-footed shot was blocked by Lapper, and it went over the top of Riedle. Had that not been blocked, that could have been very dangerous. Corner kick coming up again for Germany. This time from the opposite end in which they scored the last goal.
Perhaps a bit more caution out of Hugo Perez in trying to keep possession when he's that close to his goal. There was another time he got caught dribbling on his own side of the halfway line. The Germans are so quick to read a play and steal a ball. He's going to have to play more quickly, or he's going to cause more problems for the U.S. defense.
They're certainly indicating they're going to go short corner here, but don't let that fool you. Now Hessler comes out. Möller will take the corner. A bender, far side. It was intended, it looked like, for Klinsmann.
Riedle getting there again, though. It's important that he gets a hand on those crosses that have been so dangerous.
Matthäus. This is his 106th cap. The flag just popped up for the offside on Germany.
The vision of the German midfield players. If there's somebody open, even if they're 70 yards away, they'll find them. And we saw it there, except for the offside that held the play back.
Mike Sorber, broken up, stays with it against Klinsmann. Joe Max Moore, it looked like a give-and-go setup, but it was too slow. Möller, number 7 in green for Germany, playing it back. Right-footed pass. Brema was looking for a Hessler. Riedle will end up with a goal kick. Vegas. A lot of atmosphere here in Palo Alto. Got a helicopter flying overhead, naturally carrying an advertising banner. Good crowd here on hand, too, in Stanford, where a lot of renovation has taken place, getting all set for World Cup '94. Sorber's pass picked off. Hessler on the run, putting it into space offside. Klinsmann, and a good thing for the U.S. squad, Brad Friedel looks at a breakaway.
And an almost certain goal with a player the caliber of Jurgen Klinsmann. And he was through a very close call there. But again, the United States need to establish themselves at midfield with some possession. Instead, they cough up possession, and it's Hessler going the other way. The breaking Möller, and look at Klinsmann over there. Now, is he even with Armstrong, or is he in behind him? That's the only question. And the linesman called him behind Armstrong, so it's offside.
Klinsmann, great job. May get his own ball against Armstrong on the turnaround. Great back heel. Brema inside. Lapper gave it up. I was a little too nonchalant inside the 18.
Needs to be a more forceful clearance. He meant to clear it. He meant to get it further out. Germany
Maybe sensing a kill here. They're going, it looks like, more for the jugular and catching the U.S. in a couple of bad plays.
Exactly. The more times the United States gives up the ball in a bad situation, the more they get shaken. And then they even make poor clearances. So if they can establish a little bit of combination play, it gives them confidence. They're less likely to make those miscues.
Buchwald to Effenberg. Hessler. Back for Buchwald. Buchwald, who had marked Maradona in the 1990 World Cup. Kohler, number 4. Ramos. Kunz playing very much withdrawn there, giving it up. Möller, give and go. Kunz beating Lalas. The pass across for Klinsmann is too far.
Great run by Kunz, an excellent combination that he set up with Andy Möller. These guys, all they need is a split second to combine and slip the ball through. We look at Birdie Votes. He has to be a little bit more pleased with his team's concentration today compared to the game against Argentina on Wednesday when they had already given up a long-range goal.
Hessler from the corner. Last time he took one from this side, it was Möller scoring the only goal of the game. On the corner. It's loose. And just deflected wide of goal.
Hessler just dropped those missiles right into the 6-yard box. Klinsmann, one of the targets, but also on the goal, in fact, one of the decoys, really, because slipping in behind is Möller, who got the goal.
Brad Riedle, who played on the U.S. Olympic team, like Tony Meola, leaving school early to pursue a professional career. Both great players in college.
Joe Max Moore doing well there in the air duel.
That pass too slow back for Ilgner, but he did well with it. Attempted flick by Möller.
The Germans, a very tall team, with the exception of Hessler and really Matthäus. The rest of them over 6 foot or very close to 6 foot.
Push back to Kohler. Jürgen Kohler being chased back by Perez. Now to Matthäus on this near side. Less than 20 minutes left unofficially. First half. 1-0 Germany with Effenberg. Trying to deke on Agis. Trying to put it through him, and Agis didn't buy any of that. Iltz. What a cross this is.
Quality. Again, right at the edge of the 6-yard box where Riedle cannot involve himself.
Effenberg just getting there ahead of Joe Max Moore. Kobe Jones. Outside for Agis. Agis off the left footer.
This is worth a try. It's the one way that the U.S. may break through.
Stewart took advantage of a Buchwald stumble. Ernie Stewart tried to bring it inside, and Buchwald got more than the ball. Stewart is down.
Against Argentina, Germany's back four looked a little bit slow, and the U.S. trying to exploit that using Ernie Stewart, who's down now, but he nearly broke through on the stumble by Buchwald. So it is a good tactic for the United States to try and play the ball forward a little bit more direct, a little earlier to try and break through.
Stewart playing for Willem II in the Dutch League. He leads his team in scoring with 5 goals. Now is probably a good time, since you see that we're staying with the action, to remind everyone that we are going commercial-free during the... Thank our sponsors for allowing us to do that.
And here's the one-on-one duel as Stewart had won the ball in the corner. He goes to get past Buchwald, leaves both feet to sweep the ball away, and that second leg takes a piece of Ernie Stewart. And that's just a hard, fair tackle because he went into the ball and got it out of there.
When you go against Buchwald, you're going against one of the tougher ones.
Be ready.
Stewart will try to shake this one off.
I think Buchwald even more determined to make a hard tackle because he felt he had messed up the play earlier when he miscued and left the ball for Stewart.
Stewart, one of the few international players that was recalled, actually. Chad Deering and Brian Bliss, who hasn't played for the U.S. since 1990. Also here, but you won't see Harkes, Ramos, Wynalda, or Wegerle. So the U.S. going basically with the players from Mission Viejo and a few more.
Yeah, of Stewart and Deering, who we may see in the second half.
Another free kick for Hessler, looking for Effenberg, trying to get around Agis, and good support from Mike Lapper. Effenberg far more dangerous today so far in the first half than he was the entire match against Argentina. Mike Lapper, pretty solid at the back this season for the U.S. He was an Olympic player as well. Hessler, again in the corner. Smacks it in the middle. Riedle just got a piece. Looked like he reacted late. Hessler again. Smacking it low in the middle. Agis in traffic. Wheeled and dealed well for Lapper, who clears, and it goes out.
Watching these crosses coming in, particularly from Hessler. They're driven so low. That's why Friedel doesn't get a good look at him. You notice that he reacted late. The thing's so low, he doesn't really get a chance to see its trajectory. So he's having problems with it. And if you watch the U.S. defense in general, even after this save by Friedel, they cannot hesitate. They must go to the ball. Otherwise, the Germans will dart in front of them and get the goal, as they did on the corner kick.
Every time Hessler has taken a corner kick, it seems like he's done something different, too. All the more tougher for a goalkeeper and everyone else to defend.
He seems to be able to put the ball wherever he needs to.
A reminder, coming up at halftime, we will have a few words from Thomas Dooley. What a sensational year he's had for the U.S. squad since coming here and becoming a full-time player based in Mission Viejo. Möller putting it in play for Germany. Right side, Matthäus fed it. Effenberg, number 20 in green for Germany, back for Hessler. All the way back, Kohler. Number 4 for the German side, intercepted. Joe Max Moore trying to get it back, and he does. Off the header from Dooley, the quick pass, he wanted Ernie Stewart.
Again, that's the idea. The early ball in behind the German backs to exploit Stewart's speed. That will be the thing to get the United States a goal.
The German defense was not solid at all against Argentina in Miami. In fact, Thomas Hessler said, I wish I was playing against our defense. We would have scored more goals.
They did have problem with the quickness and the change of pace of the Argentina forwards, particularly Leo Rodriguez and Abel Balbo. Balbo scoring the winner for Argentina against Germany.
Germany coming back. Here's Effenberg. A 1-0 lead here for Germany. Hessler trying to put it in space. Lalas got it. Hessler almost got it back. Hessler's like a couple of steps ahead of everyone else. Ty, so far a good result here for the U.S. Down only 1-0. We knew the Germans would come in angry and get off to a good start, but the U.S. held them very well.
The Germans are very serious. Look at the tackling by Iltz. He's getting involved every chance he gets, making it difficult for the United States to get out of their own end. But the U.S. have done it.
Some nice, quick, short passes, and at the end, Iltz clears it out. Germany, like the U.S., was an automatic qualifier, so they tried to develop a difficult schedule. So these games are important to Birdie Votes. They want to win. Likewise for the U.S., this is their 34th international. No other nation plays that ambitious a schedule. They've mixed it up. They've played all different styles of teams, and in the end, hopefully, and I think it will, pay off for the U.S. squad in many fashions. Sorber, long distance shot, just wide, and I think Ilgner may have lost it in the sun and from the distance.
You see the shadows there. He is looking to the sun, and Sorber long range, but hit it well. As we see, he has some space at midfield, and he cracks it. And the ball is dipping, as you see there, and I think that fools Ilgner as well. And Ilgner went full stretch, still didn't touch it, but it's just wide. But look at how much space. He looks up, he tries to pick his corner, drives it well, and there's the dip on it and the bounce. And sometimes those can get under a goalkeeper if they're on goal. As we see the super slow-mo, Sorber stepping through the ball, getting his full body behind it, and getting the ball to dance and dip a little bit, which is always a danger for the goalkeeper.
That was an aggressive play by Sorber, who normally looks to pass first, shoot second.
Well, he had that much time.
In a space, Möller, great job to head it down. And a tough tackle on that far side. Lapper, offside on Germany. The Germans looking much quicker than they did Wednesday night against the quick team like Argentina.
Well, they are playing their kind of game. They're keeping possession. They're playing mostly in their opponent's half of the field, keeping the United States hemmed in until the last 3 or 4 minutes where the U.S. have done better to get forward.
Klinsmann a little too physical against Mike Lapper on that far side. Klinsmann, the star of U.S. Cup 93, which was difficult to do with all of the great players that came over here, including one of his teammates, Karl-Heinz Riedle. In that game against the U.S. in Chicago, Germany was really a far better side in the air, and so far the U.S. has held their own in that category and others today. 1-0, Germany leading. Lapper with some space. Stewart and Perez. Hugo Perez. Tripped up by Dieter Iltz. A foul. This will set up a dangerously close free kick.
Iltz is playing very intensely, but repeated fouling from him should be stopped by the referee. Now, this is his first time ever playing for Germany, so he's very excited. He really wants to establish himself as perhaps a starting player in this team, but this time it's Perez has slipped it past him, and he takes the legs of Perez the foul is called.
Joe Max Moore is over the ball. Perez normally will take free kicks for the U.S. squad. Joe Max Moore, the leading goal scorer.
It'll be Perez's left or Joe Max Moore's right.
All set. It's Moore with a shot off the wall. They disguised it pretty well. Into the air, headed down. Dooley was going for it.
A big defensive play by Matthäus, where he needs to be as the sweeper, covering in behind the other backs.
Long pass to the left side. Matthäus was going forward.
He made the clearance, now he's in the attack.
I almost didn't recognize him. I'm looking for him at the back. Here's Kuntz.
He covered 60 yards in about 3 seconds.
Right side, Klinsmann is offside. Jurgen Klinsmann has great speed, but we talked to you an idea the other day about his strength and some of the other things that he does very well.
His first touch on the ball and his shielding ability, his ability to hold players off of the ball with his body are incredible. His change of pace is probably his main tool, and he uses it here, but perhaps starts his run just a bit too soon as Möller tries to slip him through on the through pass. He's in behind Agus, so the offside flag goes up.
Low pass back to Riedle as we're back live, and then it's cleared. It will go all the way out of play. The Germans have a chemistry today up top that they didn't have the other night. Part of it probably the tongue lashing from their coach as we look at Bora Milutinovic, but also Kirsten and Klinsmann didn't click together. We're seeing Kuntz doing more here, Möller playing a better game, Effenberg playing a better, everyone contributing here for Germany.
Kuntz seems to be able to get involved more than Kirsten did against Argentina the other day, and what that does is free up Klinsmann and Hessler. And the Germans, because of their dominance in possession and so on, another offside call here against Germany. It's got to be about the 8th or 9th time they've been called offside.
I didn't see the linesman's flag go up at all. That was the referee calling.
Was in position
that was it.
to call it, yeah.
There's Effenberg, who plays for Fiorentina in Italy. Germany has been offside 7 times. You're very close. I commend you. Lapper. Joe Max Moore trying to split. And it's cleared out by Germany. Look out here. There's that speed we talked about.
And no offside because Klinsmann started his run from his own side of the halfway line.
Oh, he tries to split too. Riedle came out well. Agus did his best to detain Jurgen Klinsmann.
Well, if you can't stop him, at least slow him up. And the U.S. defense did a pretty good job of that because Klinsmann was nearly past everybody with one move.
Partially because of not blending with Kirsten.
This is a great player. He can see beyond just the first play. He pushes it straight through the legs, and he also knows that he thinks he's past Agus. They bump him just enough, and Riedle does react well to come out and smother the loose ball.
Back in the live action here at Stanford Stadium. Great reversal by the Germans for Effenberg. Heading it down, and Joe Max Moore with a solid effort defensively.
That's a brilliant recovery run by Joe Max Moore because the initial ball was perfectly flighted in behind him for Effenberg. And what Joe Max Moore was able to do was then get the inside track on him, shut it off, and put it out for the corner kick. But the Germans do that so well, switched the point of attack from one side to the other and catch you. And they did catch Joe Max Moore, but he recovered.
They do it better than anyone. Here's Hessler. Another corner in the middle. It's loose. Möller pushing it. The shot went too high. What a great chance for Germany. There seemed to be some confusion for the U.S. inside the 18 as Kuntz was in there.
Stefan Kuntz nearly scoring for the second time. The Germans, that is, on corner kicks. They've had 7 of them, and Hessler is so good swinging them in there. Möller scored the goal off of a corner kick. A near miss here by Stefan Kuntz, who was a teammate of Tom Dooley with Kaiserslautern in the Bundesliga, the German first division. So they're pals here playing against each other.
Again, we'll bring you some conversation with Thomas Dooley at halftime, which is about 7 minutes or so away here in Stanford. Agus on the throw. Perez, third leading all-time scorer for the U.S. behind Wynalda and Bruce Murray. Stewart, great flick, but not quick enough for Dooley. Kohler read it well. Blocked. Brema almost got caught. Kobe Jones with that great speed would have had a chance.
Unusual for Brema to take that kind of a chance deep in his own end, but he saw Hessler, who's now out on the left side. He switched sides. Was trying to get that early ball past the U.S. defense.
Ilgner sending it long. Intended for Klinsmann. He paid the price. Lapper was all over him. Here's Effenberg. All the way back. Brema chasing it. And Kobe Jones right after him with high pressure. Kobe Jones, number 13 in white for the U.S. Now Lalas helping. The U.S. coming forward now, trying to catch Germany and maybe get a break at a tying goal before halftime.
Well, I think this is important to look at Hessler. He's frustrated. He wanted that ball earlier from Brema. And that's because the U.S. team is doing a little bit better job now of picking up the German midfield and pressuring a little bit and not giving the time that they gave them earlier on when Germany was able to keep the U.S. in the U.S.'s half of the field for large periods of time.
The stats showed Germany in terms of those corner kicks and obviously the score, but the U.S. continuing to hold their own. Stewart trying to cross it. He'll get a corner. Kohler was the man who knocked it out. Perez will take it. Chad Deering right now is warming up, loosening up behind the U.S. bench. We get set for the corner. Perez inside, it's loose. And the player to watch was Lalas. He just missed it. He scored 4 goals this year for the U.S., all with headers.
Ilgner, though, coming out and matching him on this particular one, but it looked almost identical to the goal that Lalas scored against England from the exact same position. He even jumped the same way, but this time the German goalkeeper, Ilgner, was able to come out and deflect the ball away.
Bodo Ilgner was the World Cup starter for Germany, West Germany at the time in 1990. Pretty much lost his starting job after the 1992 European Championships. Köpke has been starting a majority of the games, although Ilgner played in 3 of the last 4 before Köpke played in Miami. Germany will play it back to the keeper.
I think Votes planned on switching the keepers off, but I think particularly after the suspect goal against Köpke by Argentina and the long-range shot, that made it certain that he would make the change.
Diaz scoring that one about 4 minutes into the match. Klinsmann trying to split. Armstrong may have gotten away with something. Forget the word may have. He did. Klinsmann knows it. You and I know it. Matthäus.
That was a Klinsmann sandwich.
All the way back. Agus. Well, one thing about Klinsmann, if he wants to argue with the referee, he can do it in 4 different languages. So the referee's bound to speak one of the language that Klinsmann knows.
Klinsmann looking to use that incredible acceleration that he had. You see how he did it? He just pushed it and he went. And Armstrong and Lapper, knowing they couldn't catch it, just bodying him off.
3.5 minutes left. A much better performance by the U.S. Forget about the stats and the corner kicks. Far better than the game in Chicago. And they gave up a couple near the end of that half, or in the latter stages of it. Another offside. Add that to the total. Oh, Klinsmann's upset. He's still thinking about the last foul.
Yeah.
Or the foul that wasn't called. Lapper, long ball. Stewart was on the other end. Couldn't quite get it. Hessler missed it, but there was a reason. Sorber fouled him. Germany's been offside, by the way, 8 times 0 for the U.S. Not only was Chad Deering warming up, but we see Brian Bliss down behind the U.S. bench as well. You would hope that they would get in on action. Both came in earlier from Germany. Kobe Jones, great speed up the middle. Stewart, good read as Joe Max Moore comes in as well. Effenberg, solid job. It looked like the U.S. was going to have a numerical advantage. It's the first time we've seen Kobe Jones coming up the middle as opposed to the wing in this first half.
He has that burst of speed to do it. There's a good ball by Lapper out to Armstrong.
Desmond Armstrong, second on the squad now in minutes played among the active players. Great move, Kobe Jones to the corner flag for the cross. Headed straight up. Ilgner is right there.
That's some good stuff. The United States could do a few more of those and they'll get their goal. They've started to turn the tables, but now be very careful because Germany just as quickly can counter the other way, just when you think things are going well.
And it was Dooley who had that chance. Lapper said it was offside, but the linesman didn't agree. It's a good thing that the U.S. got that ball. Kuntz apparently was not.
How about the way Jones burst past 2 Germans at midfield and then tried to slip the ball through to Stewart?
Riedle came out, the net's empty. Lalas saves the goal. Great job by Lexi Lalas. A little hesitation by the U.S. and it almost cost them. Germans got a lucky break and they almost finished with it.
Well, here's what happens. The U.S. getting a little bit excited about some of their offensive success. Get caught with a few players upfield. They're not quite as organized. So now here it comes the other way. And it's Stefan Kuntz actually coming in with a collision with Riedle and coming up with the ball, and he appears to have an open goal, and it's Lalas who saves the day with the slide.
Off the corner, Armstrong clearing it, out of danger for the moment. Germany getting it back.
The U.S. pushing up.
Played back toward goal. Riedle cleared it away.
One way to beat the offside trap there is to play the ball to yourself, which is what Matthäus tried.
Kobe Jones for Joe Max Moore. Closing minutes of the first half, he's chopped down. Hessler. The guy that played the ball back to Riedle on the other end, the last line of defense was already Stewart.
Well, he got caught. Matthäus decides to beat the trap. He's going to just pop the ball through to himself in behind the trapping U.S. defense. Stewart must have seen him and picked it up. It was a well-read play by Ernie Stewart. And like you said, he's not a defender, but he saw Matthäus' idea of trying to pop the ball through to himself.
Perez on the free kick, bending it. Far side, the header was strong but not accurate. And it was Lapper coming up from his defender's position to put a head to that.
But you have to like, for instance, Hessler had to foul Joe Max Moore just down here on the left side a moment ago. A minute and a half before that, Kobe Jones broke through a great cross down from the right corner. A chance on the head here by Lapper, who we're looking at right now, we just saw. So the United States starting to be able to create some things that are putting the ball near the German net.
A few shaky moments for the U.S., but all in all, they've done pretty well. We're into injury time now in this first half. How about nutmeg the referee? That should be it. That is it. A good first half for both teams, although Germany will take a 1-0 lead into the locker room at halftime. Before we go away, we want to remind you about our Adidas trivia quiz that's coming up. Give you a chance to think about it. Here is the question. Who were the first two teams to qualify for the 1994 World Cup? And the second part of that is why. Give you time to think about it. We have no commercial breaks during the flow of play, but we'll take it. All right, second half underway, and that's Matthäus Sammer who has come in, number 16 in green for Germany.
I see Ziege, number 17, playing the left side here in place of Brema. So at least two changes for Germany.
Up the left wing side they come. Ziege, who had a great U.S. Cup 93. Low cross. Klinsmann missed it by inches.
You're going to see a track meet on this near side between Kobe Jones and Ziege. They both have incredible speed.
What a nice way for Ziege to come in. His first touch is brilliant. Klinsmann was ready to swerve that one home. Kobe Jones, 13 in white for the U.S. Now for Thomas Dooley. 1-0, Germany leading it if you're just joining us a day before the World Cup draw in Las Vegas. We were told there are about 600 media members expected to be here today. Some were already in Las Vegas and came here for this match, and then they'll be heading for Las Vegas right after it. That's an impressive turnout here. And a good crowd as well. It's always tougher to draw a crowd in a lot of sports around the Christmas holiday, so this is very good.
Kohler is the one that's off for Sammer, for Matthäus Sammer. This is Chad Deering, number 21, playing in the U.S. midfield, although he'll push up to help Ernie Stewart. He's on for Perez.
Chad Deering played collegiately at Indiana. Jerry Wegerle has turned out more than a handful of good players there.
Deering currently under contract with Schalke 04 in the German First Division, so he knows these guys.
Dooley clearing it out. Deering just missing. We saw him in the second half against Mexico. Headed down by Möller, the linesman, with a flag up.
There were a couple German players offside, although neither one of them was Möller, who ended up with the ball.
Lalas picking it up on the right side. Stewart to the corner flag against Iltz. Nice cut inside. Stewart on the cross, far post. Just over Effenberg. It was intended for Joe Max Moore, but Ilgner appeared to be caught off by that.
So the only change for the USA is Deering, number 21, on for Hugo Perez. Germany going with two changes. Ziege for Brema out on the left side. And more in the central midfield, defensive midfield role, they have Sammer. And they've actually dropped Buchwald into where Kohler was.
Also, Brian Bliss is warming up on the U.S. sideline. Kicked upfield by Dooley. Played on the left side by Christian Ziege. Ziege putting it into space. He wanted Möller, but there's Kobe Jones reacting well on the defensive end. Too slow on that pass for Ernie Stewart. Ziege will get it.
Well, they misunderstood each other just a little bit there, and they don't play together often enough. If you think about it, Kobe, one of the Mission Viejo players, and Ernie Stewart playing for Willem too in Holland. If they could play together more often, they might be able to communicate better on those kinds of plays.
Chad Deering with a little room. Right side to Kobe Jones, and got the feet tangled up.
How about you? I wanted him to shoot. I mean, really, Ernie Stewart shot from there. Mike Sorber shot from there in the first half and had good chance. The fans wanted it. It's one of his first touches, though.
Buchwald giving it up on the right side. Buchwald, number 6 for Germany, all the way to the left. Lothar Matthäus, all-time German leader in caps. This is 106 for him today.
Wearing the armband. He recently surpassed Beckenbauer in the total number of caps.
Bertie Votes was 3rd. His coach. Look at this move. And more moves. Hessler. Riedle comes up. Hessler's a little fire plug out there. He makes this team go.
He can change directions so quickly and keep the ball under such close control. But Riedle showed good range there, really. I think that ball was going wide, and he still covered it.
Hessler's like only about 5'5" or so he's listed. But he was 3rd in the voting for European Player of the Year in 1992. And there are a lot of great players, as you know, in Europe.
And he's one of the top ones, no question, playing for Roma in the Italian First Division.
Klinsmann in the air. Coming back. Putting it into space for Möller. Riedle didn't get it. Möller with a chip. Strunz. Klinsmann. And then Lalas clears it out. U.S. dodges a bullet. I know it's a cliche, but no other way to describe that.
That gets scary because Riedle came off his line well, but Möller showed us another gear of speed. He was able to even pick up some acceleration and win the race to the ball.
Gearing to Stewart. Stewart, number 10 in white for the U.S., sending it long. Effenberg. Möller.
Oh, what a great first touch.
I continue to be impressed with number 7, Möller. You hear so much about the Klinsmanns and the Matthäus that the Möllers don't get enough credit. Headed down by Strunz. Here's Ziege with speed. Ziege gave it up. Klinsmann blocked. Kobe Jones may have saved the goal.
There's no other word for those last 2 plays but heroics. First Lalas, then Kobe Jones there. Those are certain goals. Germany is so dangerous in those situations, but truly heroic defensive plays by the United States has kept the score close.
I think Brad Friedel has some players to thank if this game were over right now.
This is going back. Here's Klinsmann splitting everybody with the through ball for Möller. And I thought Friedel was going to win this ball. Then Möller just picked up speed. And now Friedel's completely out of the goal. It's all the way to the back post. Here's Kuntz. He wins the head ball, but not a good enough angle. Friedel now has raced back into position. And finally the U.S. with Lalas is able to get the ball out of danger. But what a great run by Möller. We have another. And then right after this, it's Ziege with his great acceleration, splitting the U.S. defense. And there's the heroics by Lalas, and now by Kobe Jones. He said that's almost a certain goal if Jones doesn't block it.
Back to live action. Matthäus Sammer. Back for Lothar Matthäus. Wide right side for Effenberg. Effenberg, great job to tackle it free, but there's Lapper turning it upfield. Deering, oh, great touch! Chad Deering!
They held him.
He just missed hitting that forward to himself. Then you might have seen some breakaway speed.
He had his shirt grabbed just enough.
Probably the only way to stop him there, other than a bad foul. Lalas in the throw, and the game picking up in its intensity here in the second half.
Ooh, a bad time.
Ouch. Dooley will be spoken to. I think that's Sammer that's down.
That is Sammer that's down. Dooley so aggressive, so intense, swinging with everything he had for that ball, and Sammer stepped in front and got the worst of it.
Again, we are commercial free during game action. Special thank you to all of the sponsors for their help in allowing us to present you this entire game live and in its entirety without commercial interruption. There is Sammer, and you've been there before. That's That hurts.
He cracked him pretty good, and he cracked it quite high on the leg, which makes it look that much more vicious. I don't think that Dooley even saw him until the last possible moment. Sammer wins the race. Dooley swinging for the ball. Sammer wins the ball, and the high kick does catch Sammer pretty good, and that's why he had to be attended to.
Germany will take it. There's Matthäus Sammer, apparently all right.
Sammer, of course, one of the former East German players who've now been joined to the unified German team, as if they weren't strong enough. Already defending World Cup champions, they add a player of Sammer's stature.
And Ulf Kirsten and Andreas Thom, who both played against Argentina Wednesday. Right side, this is Ilz in his first international for Germany, giving it up on that right side. Played back now to Sammer. Matthäus Sammer, cautious near midfield, going long for Ziege.
Trying to use his legs, the speed that he has. That ball is out.
It's tough to come on sometimes as a substitute and get those legs going, but Ziege's had no trouble at all. It's like he must have been warming up in the dressing room doing some sprinting.
I'm sure he was. He is a gazelle.
Chad Deering. They're using Deering much more here than they did in that game against Mexico.
He only came on for about 15 there, didn't he?
But it seems like they're looking for him here.
Well, partially because he does play in Germany. It's a good chance for him to show a few things and make a name for himself back there, because he's not started or played much at all for Schalke, although he is under contract there.
By the way, besides Brian Bliss, Dominic Kinnear's warming up as we look at Alexi Lalas, who not only plays this game physical, he scored goals this year, plays a mean guitar and sings too.
Well, he's saved at least 2 goals today, in my book.
Oh, he's done well.
One in each half.
You know, he got votes for the MVP, basically, of this team, but also an unsung hero. And how many guys can qualify for both?
He does sing.
I said he sang well. I heard him. I was there. Matthäus on the right. Long ball. He wanted Hessler. Lalas headed it dangerously back to the middle. Now put down. Dooley's pass for Jones. Back for Lalas. Great reverse. He looked like a German player on that.
That's the way to get away from the pressure. Find the open guy at the far side. Great stuff.
Germany does it better than anyone. Agus with a quick touch. Stewart. Ernie Stewart.
Turn on the turbo.
Buchwald knew he was in a race there. Agus just missing. Joe Max Moore couldn't get around on it, unfortunately for him. Pretty good setup. Joe Max Moore has 6 goals in his last 2 games. You saw 4 of them against El Salvador, so he's been hot. Kinnear, who's warming up, has 4 goals in his last 2 games, 2 straight 2-goal performances.
The USA playing without Wegerle, who normally plays, and Wynalda, who normally plays up top. Here's the foul here. Lalas with Kuntz. It's a late hit here right in the middle of Lalas' back that caused the foul call.
He's used to the rough stuff. He played hockey as well in high school and college. Oh, the give and go is all set up for Matthäus. Well done defensively.
Trevor read it.
In his face, he did well with that. Dooley was taken down. Payback. Sammer.
Now, just good defensive positioning, really. He shut Dooley's run off to the ball. Sammer just taking up a good position.
Sammer came on as a substitute Wednesday in that match against Argentina. And there is Bodo Illgner, Germany's top keeper.
He plays
22 years of age in Italy, or in, World Cup Italy.
Yeah. He plays with FC Cologne.
Sammer. Hessler just missing. Agus chasing. Put in a space. Klinsmann and Armstrong just beat him. Armstrong's got to read it. He's also got to be close to being in position to stop Klinsmann, and he was.
Got to have a little bit of speed, too, which he did. He covered that well. The U.S. doing a pretty good job, in fact, a better job here of keeping close track of Klinsmann than they did in the first half. They were relying too much in the first half on that offside trap.
Möller gave it up in the middle. Hessler pushing it. Left wing for Kuntz. Inside, he wanted Klinsmann. Kobe Jones. Tried to take off, and Ziege knocked it out. Good thing he did, because Deering was breaking on that sideline. Kobe Jones, a walk-on at UCLA. He's walked on. He's become a starter in many of these games. He leads the team in games played, and he's also one of those guys like Ziege that can come in off the bench and get the legs moving.
Well, it's rags to riches for a guy like Kobe Jones, and he's really getting a chance to shine because the Wynaldas and the Wegerles are not here, even the Ramos and a Harkes and so forth. This U.S. team responding well despite not having some of those big-name players.
Germany out shooting the U.S. 7-3, 2-0 we're told in this half. Second half of action. Not quite gone 15 minutes yet. Matthäus, wide right, Effenberg, or Ilsmaken gave it up.
Effenberg has pushed all the way up into Hessler's position. They'll switch over.
No, Dooley, no!
Goran Milutinovic calling the signals from the U.S. bench. Lalas in there. So is Dooley. Möller is the beneficiary. He was going long on that right wing side for Hessler.
The intensity definitely there for the U.S. defenders. That's the only way they can stand up to the German onslaught. Look at Lalas. Every time he's in there hard. Harkes had been the same way down the other side. Lapper, and here's Armstrong, who's been playing very coolly at the back.
Stewart feeding. Right side. That's as far as we've seen Desmond Armstrong advance today. And Matthäus and Armstrong will make up. Matthäus, one of the premier midfielders of the world, now as a sweeper under Bertie Boat's system. And now you're going to see Brian Bliss, number 14, come on. And we've not seen him since 1990, right after the World Cup. He played against the Soviet Union. He'll replace Jeff Harkes, and it's nice to see Bliss come back. You don't know how well he'll play because he hasn't been training with him, and he was sick all day yesterday. So he didn't even train.
But again, he's a player who has experience in Germany, playing with a professional team there.
Starter on a second division squad.
Yep.
Germany will get it. Iltz. Left side, played up the wing. Kuntz is playing much deeper now. Sammer put it well into space. On a good run down the wing for Möller. He has the only goal on the cross, and Klinsmann couldn't get it because Lapper did. Rebound shot went wide. Klinsmann was there.
Möller, no question, the player of the game in my book, not just because he scored the goal. Here's the chance he's broken through again from his midfield position. And again, clips a perfectly angled cross. Klinsmann is right there, but Lapper took up a better position to be able to clear it. We see Lapper. He's in just in exactly the right place at the right time in order to clear the ball away.
Back to live action. U.S. trailing 1-0 in the white uniforms against the defending world champions from Germany, who have won 3 World Cups, tying Italy and Brazil. Bliss gave it up in the left. Back toward Bliss, making a good effort for it. Now Sammer goes down, and the whistle had sounded. We just didn't hear it. Thomas Dooley, number 5, has been a true leader for this U.S. squad. I think the decision for Dooley to play and become a full-time player has helped everyone, himself too. He's really picked up in the English language. Last year, couldn't speak much at all, and now we're doing halftime bits with him. Lapper chased by Klinsmann. Riedle. They're doing a wave here at Palo Alto in Stanford Stadium. I'd like to hear a crowd count. Looks pretty good.
They were hoping for at least 50,000 today.
Dooley blocked by Sammer. Brian Bliss is back for it. Brad Friedel in goal for the U.S. There's part of the wave action. Back to the field for Lalas. Sammer on the intercept. Ziege. Dangerous right back. Deering will break in. The shot was blocked by Iltz. And you had Stewart there, and the trailing Joe Max Moore. Deering's upset at himself.
He's disgusted with himself because he took too long, and Iltz was the one who had given up the ball to Deering, but Deering gave Iltz enough time to recover. We'll see it here. The ball played across the back by Ziege. This is dangerous anyway. And now here's the miss kick, and Deering is in behind everybody. Now Deering just takes one extra touch too many, and the recovery by Iltz is there, and Deering took himself to a worse angle.
On the corner, Ilgner looked like he was going to get caught on that one, but he did well to recover.
There's the best chance the United States have had, certainly in this half, because all the way through is Chad Deering, and he's just waiting to try and set up Ilgner. Instead, he allows Iltz to get back into play. Look at Iltz, and he goes full stretch just to get his outstretched toe on the ball to put it out of danger.
It was Iltz and Buchwald that combined to give the U.S. a near breakaway. All the way back toward Lapper. Oh, that was cool to head it right back down the way he did to Riedle with that kind of pressure from Hessler. That's great stuff. U.S. squad with Lapper. I see a 19 out there. It's Andreas Tom that has apparently checked in. On that far side, U.S. with a little room. A lot of room making. Sorber. Right wing to Lalas. Blocked. Kobe Jones after it. Good job by Matthäus, who's really advancing from that sweeper spot. There's Andreas Tom. All the way back it comes. He's one of the 3 East Germans currently on this roster. You know, I don't see is
Klinsmann. Yeah, he's come on for Klinsmann.
We just never saw Klinsmann leave. Let's see, he went up during the wave or during a replay, but I don't remember time being stopped for his sub.
No, it was during a replay, I'm sure.
Now maybe he'll be joining the crowd with a wave. Lalas on the throw in the middle. Loose in the 18 and cleared out. Möller has a lot of room. Brian Bliss will take that assignment. He switches, but an offside. Well, for a while it looked like Möller had the whole side. He's upset. He wanted some support to give him some options. Once Bliss cut off his angle, there was not much he could do.
Also had players running away from him rather than checking towards him, allowing then the U.S. trap to work very well. And the United States, Desmond Armstrong, he's the one determining when to trap. They've set it up quite well today. It was a good example.
You're looking for progress. Last time in Chicago at this stage, it was Germany in control 4-1.
If you're also even looking for progress from the first half of this game to the second half of this game, the United States has had much more possession. They've been able to work the ball even more so and not been pushed into their own end as much as they were in the first half by Germany.
Kobe Jones in the throw all the way back to Brad Riedle. This is our final World Series of Soccer telecast for 1993. We kick up in high gear in 94 from the same place where 93 started, Tempe, Arizona. U.S. against Norway, January 15th in the Phoenix area. Möller intercepted by Lalas. U.S. continue to make some solid defensive plays, and then there's a giveaway, but Lalas came right back. In the middle, Sorber. Crowd wanted him to shoot like he did in the first half. Hit a space off a deflection towards Jones. Ziege, I thought, had touched it last. But that's not what the official has seen, unless there was something else that happened. There's Ziege.
Christian Ziege, really one of the new faces on the German national team. In fact, really a discovery of the U.S. Cup this past June. No one had seen much of him, as particularly with the German national team. He really came on strong there. He uses his speed so well on the left flank.
Matthäus giving it up on the left. Andreas Tom. He came on for Klinsmann.
Tom, one of the East German players who now gets to play with the full German side.
Long ball intended for Kuntz, doesn't get there. Ernie Stewart back to get it. Brian Bliss. And now it's Lapper being chased. This time by Kuntz, back to the feet of Riedle. All the way across field, Brian Bliss. Bliss had one World Cup experience with his team as a sub for Paul Caligiuri in World Cup 90. Armstrong from Dooley.
We're hearing some impatience from the fans here. They want to see the U.S. go forward, but that's okay. It's 1-0. They're going to get their chances.
Down the left wing, tackled out, I thought, by Effenberg, and so did the referee.
What you don't want to do against the German side is get impatient looking for that tying goal. Send too many players forward because they'll burn you so badly on the counterattack, particularly a guy like Möller. I mean, he's just waiting for a chance like that if the U.S. pushes up too many players.
Jomax Moore on the corner. Lalas was in there on a collision with Ilger, but that play was designed, set up for number 22, Lalas.
Look at the concentration of Ilger as he grasps the ball. He knows that Lalas is the main threat, and he's beat him to every ball.
Ilger's solid, too, at 6'4", 200, just over it. Lalas, no slouch either. Ziege. Lapper has made so many strong defensive plays today. Buchwald, a little too strong on that one, Bernie Stewart.
Good hustle, though, by Stewart.
Effenberg. Eels has some room. Puts it ahead on the left wing. Strunz tackled out. Armstrong got it. Corner kick coming up.
The United States have kept their concentration perhaps better than the Germans. If you think about a couple of the breakdowns in the center of the backfield for Germany that have nearly been fatal for them.
Möller, who has scored the only goal, will take the corner. Andreas Möller. Near post, he's going. It's hit out by Riedle. Chad Deering chasing on the tackle. Great recovery, and that time they've got the hold.
Deering got up incredibly quickly and had to be pulled down there by Möller. But the defensive concentration for the United States has been impressive. Here's some concentration here, winning the tackle is Deering, and then getting back up, and there he is. He's held from behind by Möller.
Muller's done it all today. All the way back to Riedle as we are back live. A little bit better than 20 minutes to go, second half. USA definitely within striking distance, down by just a single goal. The goal came around the 15-minute mark by Möller on a great corner between he and Hessler. Storber. Now it's Desmond Armstrong. Jomax Moore, number 9 in white for the U.S. Back for Lapper.
This is what we did not see in the first half. The U.S. able to work the ball around.
Jomax Moore. And Effenberg took him down. The ball went out. Who would have thought Jomax Moore would end up as the USA leading scorer with 8?
They can thank El Salvador for that.
Yeah. USA will lose possession there. Germany leading it 1-0. Möller with that only goal. Effenberg wants everyone to go downtown. Sends it long for Tom. Headed away by Armstrong. Dooley almost got it. Stewart. Oh, he did well to come back, and then Deering was spun around in a revolving door of German defenders. Dominic Kinnear may be substituting, it looks like, for Jomax Moore if they can get the officials' attention. Last words from Coach Boyle Milutinovic. Kinnear, another sensational year with 7 goals, and not just the goals, but the way he's played all around.
They call him the gunner, or gunny. He likes to go to goal. Maybe he'll get a chance here to look for the equalizer.
And this is his backyard. He played professionally with the San Francisco Bay Blackhawks a few years back.
He grew up here.
Yeah. Jomax Moore with some congratulations from his coach, Boyle Milutinovic. He'll close out 93. Jomax Moore will on a high note. Matthäus.
Jomax Moore, another one of the UCLA contingent on this U.S. team.
Riedle will get there ahead of Effenberg, who's done so much more running today than we saw the entire match against Argentina Wednesday. I think he may have heard Bertie Boat's message. Bliss. Cutting into the middle, he wanted Stewart. Cut off by Matthäus. Far more settled today than he was Wednesday at that sweeper spot. It's got to take time, though. Premier midfielder, whatever you change any position, but especially at the back there as a sweeper, following in some big, big footsteps from the past.
No question about that. In fact, the guy who invented the position, Franz Beckenbauer.
That's who you're judged by, right? In the end. Kobe Jones knocking it away for Lalas. Well, what acrobatics. And there was almost no way Dooley could get that. Matthäus was even applauding for him on the near sideline.
It was a great effort.
To see one star player applaud another during the game, that's big. Matthäus throw, he wanted Ziege. Lalas, down to Kobe Jones.
Lapper was again at the right place at the right time. Good defensive positioning. the USA supporting each other very well defensively. They're not leaving guys out there by themselves. There's always a guy in behind ready to cover.
Fields, right side. Kunz. He'll get a corner. Iltz has really settled down after a shaky first half where he fouled everything in sight. He's playing much better as we look at Desmond Armstrong of the U.S. squad. Another corner kick coming up for Germany. They've had a big edge there. Hessler shading himself from that strong sun to the middle. Headed down, saved by Brad Riedle. You heard the thud. Germany getting it back with Effenberg.
And what you saw was nearly a carbon copy of the goal that Möller scored.
Was that a save or was that self-defense?
I'm not sure who it hit, but it was Möller again who got his head on the ball. In fact, probably drove that one harder with his head than he had on the one he scored. And it's Hessler's corner kick, almost identical to the goal in the first half. There's Möller going up, hammering the ball down. Blocked out in front. Look at this. Just frantic sort of action for the U.S. trying to get the ball out. Here we'll see. Look at Riedle. Comes through. Oh, that's a great save because he's got Andreas Thom right in front of him as a screen. So good reaction by Riedle. A different angle here. But look how high Andy Möller gets up. Drives the ball down. Look at it. Went right over Andreas Thom's head. Not really giving a good look at it for Riedle, but Riedle still saved it.
That's how he saw it right at the end. Thomas Strunz, who plays for Stuttgart. We'll check in for Hessler, and Hessler played a magnificent game for Germany.
Just his corner kick taking abilities, the accuracy of those crosses caused one goal and nearly caused a second one just then.
So the 25-year-old Strunz is in. Hessler is out. Deering. Oh, great job. Bliss. Stewart. Looking at turn. Ernie Stewart. Great touches, though. First Deering, then Bliss.
Bliss has added a little bit of punch.
Sorber, the shot, and Ilgner comes up with it.
Agus was doing a fine defensive job up there, but Bliss has pushed forward a little bit more, got into the attack a little bit.
Off a deflection, it goes out, and Effenberg and company will have a throw-in. Part of the crowd on hand to watch the U.S. squad against the Germans. Still haven't gotten a figure on the attendance, but I think they've been a big support to the U.S. squad here.
It's a big, loud crowd, and they want to see the USA tie this ball game up, and the USA have had some good attacks in the second half.
Matthäus, Buchwald backpedaling, look out. Being pressured a bit by Dooley. Still have about 14 minutes to go. That's Crazy George, the famous cheerleader. I haven't seen him in a long time. That's the quietest I've ever seen him.
I just said,
why are we shooting him now?
He looks the same. He doesn't look as crazy, though.
Yeah. Well, I want to get a shot of him when he's going nuts. 31:06 is where we're at in the second half. 1-0 Germany. On Möller's goal in minute 15. Assist going to Hessler off the corner kick. Borland Milutinovic has worked miracles with Mexico and Costa Rica. Trying to work a third with this U.S. squad come 94.
Great possession play by Sorber to hold off Matthäus.
Bliss into the air. There is Ilgner calling off his defense.
We look at today's goal scorer, Möller. He's been very hot lately. He's one of the top scorers in Italy right now. Things have been going well for him with the national team, too. 4 goals in the last 4 games for him.
Germany coming back. The shot, and Riedle made a save. That was a heavy shot. He couldn't get all of it from Kunz.
You could hear the force behind it. Made it difficult for Riedle to hold it initially. Stefan Kunz, top scorer in the Bundesliga. A great run here, a powerful run. Lapper not catching up with him. And it's a loaded ball, but Riedle gets up again quickly. Nice little pass by Andreas Thom to Möller, through to Kunz. Now Kunz with the left foot. It's a bomb. Riedle having to go to his left and then scramble for the rebound.
You can tell that power is one of the reasons why Kunz has the 14 goals. This one will sail out of play on that far sideline. Germany doubling the USA in shots at 10-5, but as Ty was mentioning, a much better second half of the U.S. in terms of offensive pressure all around. Forget just the shots.
In terms of possession, in terms of territory, the United States has gone more toe-to-toe with the Germans than they did in the first half. The Germans dominated large parts of that first half, although the U.S. did have 2-3 pretty good chances.
Right side, Effenberg. Along the board, far area, and it's knocked out of play, right by those advertising boards.
There's that defensive support that I was talking about. Armstrong was under pressure there, and he was about to perhaps get beaten, and Sorber slides across to make sure that the U.S. defense was not penetrated.
Corner kick coming up again, but no Hessler. In the middle, a score! Strunz! 2-0 Germany.
Do you think they practice the corner kicks much? This time it's Andy Möller who sets up Stefan Kuntz. And it's a rocket line drive. Möller steps up to it. He just slams the ball low. And look, there goes the start of the run by Kuntz at the near post. And he gets in front of Lamper and Lalas and just drives the ball low. No real look at it for Riedle, but it's a perfectly timed run. He explodes into the space at the near post. The ball is there from Möller, and he drives it down. Well, this is the near post is where the action is, and he beats everybody to the ball at the near post, and the ball goes between Bliss and Riedle. They both look at each other. A hard-driven head ball like that, they can't react.
Kuntz really found some space, and you saw how crowded it was on replay. 4 or 5 guys there, and he still got free.
And he got to the space first. The timing of that run, he took off just as Möller served it at the near post and got there and beat Lalas, and actually more so Lamper.
I'll bet if we had a shot of it, Hessler was probably applauding that corner from the bench. He couldn't have taken it any better himself.
Möller now with a goal and an assist on today's game.
Iltz playing it back to Matthäus. Matthäus was looking in the middle for Andreas Tom. Very few people will even attempt that kind of a long ball. Möller didn't keep it in.
Here's the goal. Now watch Kuntz take off. He's inside of Lamper now. He got in front of him. Lalas tries to come over to help, but it's the timing of the run. He takes off and bursts into that space just as Möller hits the corner.
Möller celebrating yet another time.
Again, he won the race to the space at the near post by timing his run. He exploded to the near post, and that makes it 2-0 for Germany. Both of their goals coming from corner kicks, set pieces. So in the free play, the run of play, the U.S. have held their own. I think it's been a great performance in many ways. But on the set pieces, the Germans show their true class.
About 9 minutes to play unofficially here in the second half. A lot of people that fear the worst with an angry German side coming in with really their full squad with the exception of Riedle. U.S. is without at least 4 premier players who are playing overseas, so you never knew what could have happened here, but they have played well. All the way back to Brad Friedel.
Germany taking these games very seriously. It's a World Cup atmosphere. A big crowd, number. World Cup style crowd. Over 52,000 here at Stanford. A beautiful day for soccer and a very entertaining game.
Great number. I know Peter Bridgewater, who heads up work here in the San Francisco area, has got to be pleased with that figure. Chasing it, Buchwald, Möller. Möller plays as solid a 90-minute game as anybody you'll see, too. He is not slowed down for 1 minute.
He's always available, and he's so creative when he does get the ball.
Lalas heading it down. Look at that pressure. Sammer almost got it. Armstrong did very well with that. Now getting some help from Thomas Dooley.
This is good stuff, though.
For Kobe Jones. Trying to cross it, he'll get the corner.
There's that track meet I was telling you about between Ziege and Kobe Jones. Ziege, young player for Germany, only about 20 years of age, was able to catch Kobe Jones. They both have incredible speed.
I'd like to see them in a real race on this track maybe after the game.
Put the spikes on.
Here's Kinnear on the cross. Lalas got a touch, but Ilgner was right there. Bodo Ilgner giving it up now to Ziege, who started his career as a goalkeeper. And he was discovered actually by Bertie Vogts when Votes was in charge of the junior sides.
Go back to that last attack where they tried to put Kobe Jones through. The USA showing some real sophistication and be able to work the ball out and be able to deal with pressure. First Armstrong, a great spin to go away from Sammer. Then he works a nice give and go with Sorber. They kept the ball for like 4 or 5 passes and then went to the speed into the space and nearly broke through with Jones getting past Ziege. They can do things like that against a team like Germany. It is showing more sophistication in their play.
And especially down 2-0, they're not quitting, they're not giving up, they're continuing to try and attack. Less than 7 minutes to go unofficially here in the second half. A great day for soccer, a cool day. Sun has been shining. Soccer fans couldn't be happier. Except if you're a U.S. soccer fan, obviously you'd like to see it reversed.
We'd like to see at least a goal, and there's been some chances. Going back to the first half, Ernie Stewart taking a good shot, Sorber having a shot, some near chances on corner kicks off of Lalas. But Ilger's been tough. He's commanded a large part of that box.
Sorber setting it high. Lapper was rising for that. Here come the Germans toward the middle. Andreas Tom. Ilz looking more at home now in his first international. He wanted Ziege. Kobe Jones was tracking him as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, today's attendance.
They're announcing the attendance today so the fans can applaud themselves for coming out.
And they should.
Yeah, it's a great turnout. Great turnout. We had 35,000 in Miami on a school day, Wednesday afternoon, an unusual 3 p.m. kickoff. That was great. And now 52,000 here. Sorber looking for Armstrong, and that's busted up. Oh, that was busted up too. We're talking about the ankle of Sammer by Lalas, a yellow card deserved. Well, Sammer came on in the second half, and he's been whacked twice, once by Dooley, which was more unintentional, or more accidental, I guess.
This one came from behind. And as we say sometimes, I think Wallace got his money's worth. He tagged him pretty good on the back of the ankle.
I guess if you're a soccer fan, we don't have to tell you, but the World Cup draw is tomorrow in Las Vegas. I'm looking forward to just being there and seeing how the entire setup works. All kinds of journalists from all over the world. Fans will be there, sponsors, and we'll finally know, Ty, after about 500 matches in 141 countries, not only who will play in what group, but also where they'll play. And it'll clear up. I'm tired of all the rumors.
Well, besides that, it's the big show, and the biggest show place in the world, Las Vegas. You know there's going to be some glitter there.
Germany coming back. We know where they'll play at least their opening match, Chicago. But we'll find out the rest tomorrow. Kobe Jones in a space. Nice touch for Dooley. And then it's busted up by the German back line. Buchwald. Throw in coming up here. We've got about 4 minutes left unofficially. Second half of play. Germany leading at 2-0. Both goals off set pieces, off corners. Möller scored one, assisted on the other by Kuntz. Möller giving it up in the middle. Matthäus. And now switched by Effenberg all the way to that far side. Strunz, number 2. Goals coming in minute 15 and 79 for Germany for this 2-0 lead as we get a close-up shot of Kobe Jones, 13 in white for the U.S. playing another solid game in his country's colors. Mike Sorber switches it left side. Brian Bliss with a lot of daylight. Picked up now by Matthäus. Dooley. Hold it. Far wing. Chad Deering on the cross, and he'll get the corner. U.S. squad playing without Harkes, Ramos, Wynalda, and Wegerle, but still giving the German side a good run for their money as Dominic Kinnear will get set for the corner kick. 7 goals on the year for Kinnear. A very versatile player. Sends it inside. Punched down by one hand from Ilgner. Jones right back. Oh, backheel flick by Lalas. That might have been the goal of the year. Had that had a little more pace to it. Looked like Lalas got a backheel. And Ilgner was right there. Action continues. Matthäus was going forward, offside. Germany caught that time. They must be in double figures there. We'll look again from the Kinnear corner. Ilga with a one punch. Kobe Jones, right footer. There you saw Lalas off his right back heel. That would have had to have been the goal of the year. And all it needed, I think, was a little more speed because it was going for the corner. That was great. Nice replay, too. Good angle. So we'll see it again with Kinnear. Punched up by Ilga, and then the save. And as we come back, Germany with a chip from Kuntz. He was bidding for his second goal, and Germany's third. Again, if you missed out on the beginning, we'll watch this replay first. Kuntz coming back. He was free. Riedle came out, challenged, and Kuntz just tried to chip it. If you missed out at the top, we were telling you that the United States and German national teams were wearing black armbands to honor the late Rob Strasser, the former president of Adidas USA, who passed away very recently. A tribute in his memory today. On the left wing side, here's Ziege. In the middle, here's a chance for Möller. He busted through. Möller cut it back. The shot and a score, Germany! What a goal! Andreas Kopp. It is showtime. Möller with great breakaway speed that a lot of people probably don't even realize that he had. Great cutback. Clapper has to come back. Riedle had a shift, and Tom slotted it home. That play started way upfield, though, and then Möller made it count with his breakaway. Most people thought he would shoot. Tom knew that he could possibly pass it back, and he got himself in a great position. Again, Möller cutting it back. The defense is chasing. Riedle came out. Near side, short side for the challenge. And Tom put it in the far post. But how do you stop on the dime like Möller just did and pass that ball the way he did with that kind of precision? It's a pleasure to watch the Germans play. Lalas will throw in. Now it's a 3-0 game. That was the first goal Germany scored in the run of play. We're in an injury time now. Ty Kiel, by the way, has already made his way down to the playing field for some post-game comments. I did my best Ty impression on those replays. Right side, Strunz. Germany putting on a show here in the last 10 minutes, scoring a pair of goals. Right wing side, here they come again. Blocked by the U.S. squad. Chad Buehring giving it back. Upfield, Mike Sorber. Slowed down by Iltz. All the way back for Lexi Lalas. Dooley, hammered. Play continues. The referee looked at his watch. Lead pass down the left wing. Möller again against Lalas. Möller, the shot far side. He just missed the post. And this entire crowd was oohing and eyeing at the anticipation of Möller doing something once he had the ball inside the 18. Just like you would with other players like a Klinsmann. And they started cheering here as Möller brought it inside. Didn't see an option right, so now he's going to dig and cut inside and go right for the far post. And the game ends while we're on that replay. Germany wins it by a score of 3-0, but the show that they put on really started to kick in a high gear towards the very end, the last 10 minutes. Thomas Dooley exchanging jerseys, probably with someone who he had played either for or against when he played in the German Bundesliga. 3-0 is your final score. Germany has defeated the United States in front of 52,000 fans. We'll recap it when we come back to Palo Alto.